demonstration.
Demonstration? What are you going to demonstrate about?
The citizens of the town complimenting you for bringing this important matter to everybody's attention. Obviously, it would have to be done with the utmost moderation so as not to hurt the authorities.
This could knock the big bellies right into the garbage can.
No indiscretion or extreme aggressiveness toward the authorities, Mr. Hofstadt. I don't want any wild-eyed radicalism on this thing. I've had enough of that in my time, and no good ever comes of it. But for a good, solid citizen to express his calm, frank, and free opinion is something nobody can deny.
My dear Oslickson, I can't tell you how it heartens me to hear such support. I'm happy. I really am. I'm happy. Listen, wouldn't you like a glass of sherry?
I'm a member of the Temperance Society.
Well, how about a glass of beer?
I don't think I can go quite that far. Good day. Oh, and I want you to remember that the little man is behind you like a wall. You have the solid majority on your side, because when the little man takes over...
Thank you for that, Oslickson, and good day.
Are you coming to the printing shop, Mr. Hofstadt?
I just have one or two things to attend to here.
Very well.
Well, what do you say to a little hypodermic for these fence-sitting deadheads? Everybody's afraid. They know perfectly well what's right, but they're afraid.
Why? I think that Oslickson is a very sincere man.
Isn't it time we pumped a little guts into these well-intentioned men of goodwill? Under all their liberal talk, they still idolize authority, and that's got to be rooted out of this town. This blunder of the water system has to be made clear to every voter. Let me print your report.
Oh, not until I've talked to my brother.
I'll write an editorial in the meantime. And if the mayor won't go along with us...
Well, how could you imagine such a thing?
Believe me, Doctor, it's entirely possible.
Look, he'll go along with it, I promise you. Then you may print my report, every word of it.
On your word of honor.
Here, take it. Can't do any harm for you to read it. Return it to me later.
Thank you, Doctor.
Good day.
Good day.
You'll see, it's going to be easier than you think.
I hope so, sincerely. Let me know as soon as you hear from his aunt.
Good day. Catherine! Oh, Petra, you're home early.
I just got back from school. Hasn't he been here yet?
Peter? No. But I've just had a long chat with Hofstadt. He's really fascinated with my discovery. You know, this thing has more implications than I thought at first. You know what I have backing me up?
What in heaven's name do you have backing you up?
The solid majority.
Is that good?
Good. It's wonderful. You can't imagine the feeling, Catherine, to know that your own town feels like a brother to you. I haven't felt so at home in this town since I was a boy. Oh, that's Peter.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you, Peter.
How are you?
Well, so-so. I received your thesis about the conditions of the springs yesterday.
I got your note. Did you read it?
Yes, I read it.
Well, what do you have to say?
Excuse us. May we go in here?
Oh, of course.
Thomas, was it really necessary to go into this investigation behind my back?
Yes, until I was convinced myself there was no point in stirring...
And now you are convinced.
Certainly, Peter. Aren't you? The university chemists have corroborated
You intend to present this document to the board of directors, officially, as the medical officer of the springs?
Of course. Something's got to be done, and damn quick.
Thomas, you always use such strong expressions. Among other things, in your report, you say that we guarantee our guests and visitors a permanent case of poisoning.
Yes, but Peter, how else would you describe it? Imagine, poisoned internally and externally.
So you merrily conclude we build a waste disposal plant and reconstruct our entire water system from the bottom up.
Well, do you know some other way? I don't.
Thomas, I took a little walk this morning over to the city engineer. And in the course of our conversation, I jokingly mentioned these changes as something we might consider for the future, you know.
The future won't be soon enough, Peter.
The engineer kind of smiled at my extravagance, and he gave me a few facts. Now, I don't suppose you've taken the trouble to consider what your proposed changes would cost.
No, I never thought of that.
Naturally. Your little project would come to at least 300,000 crowns.
That expensive?
Oh, don't look so upset. It's only money. The worst part of it is, it will take some 2 years.
2 years?
At the least. And what do you propose we do about the springs in the meantime? Shut them up, no doubt. Because we'd have to, you know. As soon as the rumor gets around that the water is dangerous, we won't have a visitor left. And that's the picture, Thomas. You have it in your power to literally ruin your own town.
Now, look, I don't want to ruin anything.
Thomas, now, your report hasn't convinced me that the conditions are as dangerous as you try to make them.
Now, listen, they're even worse than my report indicates. Remember, summer is coming, the warm weather.
I think you're exaggerating. After all, a capable physician ought to know what precautions to take.
And then what?
Thomas, the existing water supplies for the springs are a fact. And they've got to be treated as a fact. Now, if you're reasonable and act with discretion, the board of directors will be inclined to take under consideration any means to reasonably and without financial sacrifices make possible improvements.
Dear God, do you imagine for 1 minute that I would ever agree to such trickery?
Trickery?
Yes, a trick. A lie. A fraud. A downright crime against the public and against the whole community.
But I said before that I'm not convinced there is any actual danger.
Oh, you aren't?
No.
Anything else is impossible. My report is an absolute fact. The only trouble is that you and your administration are the ones who insisted on building the water supply where it is, and now you're afraid to admit the blunder you committed. Damn it all, don't you think I see through that?
All right. Let's suppose that is true. Maybe I do care a little about my reputation. But I still say I do it for the good of the town. Without moral authority, there can be no government. And that is why, Thomas, it is my duty to prevent your report from reaching the board. Sometime later, I will bring up the matter for discussion. In the meantime, not a single word is to reach the public.
Oh, my dear Peter, do you imagine you can prevent that?
It will be prevented.
It can't be. There are too many people who already know about it.
Who? Well, you can't possibly mean those people from the Daily Messenger.
Exactly. The liberal press will stand up and do its duty.
Thomas, you are an unbelievably irresponsible man. Can't you imagine what consequences that's going to have for you?
For me?
Yes, for you and your family.
What the hell are you saying now?
Thomas, I believe I have the right to think of myself as a helpful brother.
You have been. I am deeply grateful to
I
you
had
for it.
hoped that by improving your finances, I might be able to prevent you from running completely hog wild.
And it was only for your own sake.
Certainly, yes. What do you think people think of an official whose closest relatives get themselves into trouble time and time again?
And that's what I've done?
You can't help doing it. You're like a man with an automatic brain. Once an idea breaks into your head, no matter how idiotic it may be, you get up like a sleepwalker and start writing a pamphlet.
Peter, don't you think it's a citizen's duty to share a new idea with the public?
The public doesn't need new ideas. The public is much better off with old ideas.
You're not even embarrassed to say that?
Now look, Thomas, I'm going to lay this out once and for all. You're always barking about authority. If a man gives you an order, he's persecuting you. Nothing is important enough to respect once you decide to revolt against your superiors. All right, then I give up. I'm not going to try to change you anymore. I've told you the stakes you're playing for here, and now I'm going to give you an order. And I warn you, you had better obey it if you value your career.
What kind of an order?
You are going to deny these rumors officially.
How?
You simply say that you went into the examination of the water more thoroughly, and you find that you overestimated the dangers.
I see.
And you are convinced that whatever improvements are necessary, the management will certainly take care of them.
My convictions come from the condition of the water. My convictions will change when the water changes, and for no